As caregivers, we're often told to ask for help. But what happens when we don't know who to ask, where to turn, or how to build the support system that we so desperately need? Well, today we're going to talk about how to create a caregiving support network, not just any network, but intentionally build a support ecosystem of care for you.
Welcome to Grace to Care. Take a breath, pull up a chair, little laugh, little truth to share with Grace to Care. Together for the ones who hold it off through the late calls.
Welcome to Grace to Care. I'm Fern Sapp.
And I'm Jessica Banner, and we're here having conversations on the grief, the grit, and the gift of caregiving.
Reminding you that in caregiving, you're never meant to walk this journey alone because we are Grace to Care.
So I'm so excited. Today, you can see we have our very first guest of season 2. And I'm going to introduce her, but she's got quite a bio, so I'm going to read it.
Good.
Okay.
I love it.
So our guest today is Dr. Sandra Ervin, a retired educator and a nationally respected leader with more than 34 years of service in education, civil rights, ministry, and community leadership. She currently serves as church administrator at Zion Baptist Church and has dedicated her life to helping others through leadership, advocacy, and service. Over the past decade, however, one of the more meaningful roles has been that of a caregiver. After caring for her husband, siblings, and now her mother living with dementia, Dr. Ervin has turned her personal journey into purpose by founding the H3 Caregivers Conference, which is now annual, right? In Marietta, Georgia, a place where caregivers can find resources, encouragement, and hope. She also serves on the board of the Emory Alzheimer's Disease Research Center, continuing advocacy for caregivers and their family. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Sandra Ervin.
Thank you.
Oh, welcome. Listen, you have got to talk to the people and tell them about the H3 Caregivers Conference, because I know that our experience there was incredible. And I'm saying not only does it need to be all throughout Georgia, but we're saying on today, it needs to be worldwide. Talk about H3.
Oh, thank you. I would love to. Anytime I get an opportunity to talk about the Caregivers Conference and what we do, I get excited because it's truly embedded into who I am.
Mm-hmm.
It started really 3 years ago. I was having one of those pity parties that you even felt sorry for yourself party. And I was saying, God, why me? Why are you continually stopping by my house? I lost my husband. Well, the night before I got married, my daddy died. Then I lost my husband. And then I lost my sister. Then my brother got cancer. And I felt like the whole world was on me. And I felt just all alone and that nobody cared. And I went real deep. I was like one of those Job moments, like hold me, pull me. And then God said, you need to do something for someone else. And I said, well, I can't do anything else. I've done enough. No, I'm not going to. And it was around Christmas time 3 years ago. And God continually to talk to me and pour into me. And that started the Caregivers Conference, H3, Helping Healing Hands.
Wow.
And how I came up with the Helping Healing Hands, when my sister transitioned, I was holding her hand. And it's something about the hands, because all in the hands, that's where the strength is, and that's where it lies. And that was the last picture I took with my sister before she transitioned. And as a result, I knew I had to pull in a committee. I knew what I needed as a caregiver, but no one on the committee, they cannot serve on my committee unless they are a caregiver. So I want to hear from them, okay, what is it that you need? Now, if I wrote that conference my way, it would all have been all about me. But I have 33 caregivers. They give me input. What should occur and what worked, what didn't work, where I can improve. And it's all centered around them. And thus started the Caregivers Conference.
Wow. You could feel that. Yeah. I mean, you literally could feel that. I would have never known that they were all caregivers, but you could feel it was a different level of care. So that really explains it. Now, what I noticed about it, and we talked about this, is that that whole conference was an ecosystem. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't just one area of care. When did you realize that it wasn't just about just talking to a caregiver, but it was making sure that everything that affected them was present at that conference?
Because when you're caregiving, there's so many things coming at you at one time. Mm-hmm. And then I need an answer for this. I needed an answer for that. And then when you begin to put it like on a vision board, I would put it on my board, there were so many avenues. Mm-hmm. So once I heard from the caregivers and they said what they needed, my goal was, if I only had one day in time, mm-hmm. I'm going to give everybody what they need at that time. And that's how I did it. So, and then it was up to me to find the resources that matched the need.
Wow.
And I have to say, we walked away blown away. We've been excited since we got connected to you from the very first phone call. Like, we got off going, wow, like there's so much here and God's doing so much. But even when we went to the conference, we both work in ministry and have done plenty of things, through ministry. We're like, this is done so well. Yes. And it's because you do feel it. It's there. It permeates the atmosphere, and you do exactly what you say you do. Yeah. And that's what's
well, one thing, if I left this earth, mm-hmm. all I have is my name. Mm-hmm. And what goes with my name. Yes. Whatever I say I'm going to do, mm-hmm. I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm a lady of my word. Mm-hmm. And if I make a promise, I'm going to do exactly what I said I would do.
That's powerful. That's powerful. That's powerful.
So we want to talk some today about what does healthy support look like? Because you have created this beautiful event and community really around offering support to caregivers. So I want to kind of hear from you about what are some commonalities of a good support group?
First of all, you have to have, you got to have those good friends that you can pick up the phone and call, mm-hmm. and there's no judgment. Mm-hmm. If I say, I need you to come and get your mama, I'm not saying I want to get rid of her. I just need you to come get her for 30 minutes so that I can breathe. Mm-hmm. I got to be careful who I say that to. Somebody may call the state or DFACS and say that elderly abuse. But you got to have somebody you can vent with.
Yes.
And when people ask me, how are you doing today? I pick and choose who I can be honest with. Because some people ask you just to be polite.
Yes.
And some ask because they really do care about how you're doing. So you got to have that friend, and then you got to have your faith. My faith, I would even put faith above my friends. My faith is the avenue that keeps me going.
Wow.
And then you got to know where the resources are. And if you don't know where they are, you got to know who to go to find the resources. And then you can't, sometimes with people in my culture, we don't want anybody to know that they need help, that we need help.
Yes.
And because I'm a proud woman. I mean, I'm Dr. Ervin. Why, I'm strong.
Yes.
But what good would I be if I fall out and can't function? And you got to let all that pride go so that people, when they say you look like you're tired, stop saying you're not tired. Yes, I am tired. Can you come over for 45 minutes so I can take a nap? So you got to just know how to get to the resources and where the resources lie. For example, I thought I was going to have to cancel today.
Okay.
I truly thought I was going to have to cancel because I didn't have a caregiver. So finally, I had everything worked out. I said, I can't do it, and God, I can't carry this load. So I said, God, I'm going to turn this over to you. And once I turned it over to him, I got a phone call. No, it was an email from Senior 911, Sonia Gautry, who has her own business. She said, Sandra, I really need people who need respite care because I need more clients. And it's no charge. And we'll send somebody out 6 or 8 hours to sit with their loved one. I said, now God, won't he do it? This was Tuesday at 10:30 when I gave it to God. And about 10:45, I got the email.
Wow.
And I have a caregiver at my home today because of that. And I know
Yes.
it's nothing but God.
Yes.
And so Sonia, she said, we'll be happy to.
Wow.
Whatever you need. And
Wow.
the caregiver was on time.
Wow.
And that's big.
That's big. That's
That's big.
big. That's huge.
Not only do when they show up, but then they show up on time too. I count it a double blessing.
You know, I have a feeling, because one of the questions I was going to ask is what lesson took you the longest to learn as a caregiver, right? Needing support. I have a feeling that it's connected with that. Is it? Talk about that.
Asking for help.
Yes.
And then being able to be okay if someone says no.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I get a no, I feel rejected.
Yeah.
Well, that no could simply mean it's just not a good time.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't
True.
mean I won't do it. It's just I can't do it this time.
Right.
And then I have so much pride because, you know, I need.
Yeah.
I don't need help.
Yes.
But I tell you, that just learning how to ask for help.
Yes.
And then when someone says, what can I do? Tell them exactly what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the hardest and the longest lesson for me.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
asking for help is so hard for so many people. And we've kind of talked about that a little bit here at Grace to Care.
Yes.
And I always tell people, I speak on both sides of it. You know, for those of you who may be listening that want to help a caregiver, you know, it's really great if you show up and say, here's 1, 2, or 3 things I can do. Which one would be
Yes.
most helpful?
Yes.
Because it's hard for someone when they've got so much in their brain to go, yes, you can help me with it, like to draw it out on the spot. And so when somebody shows up and says, can I go get you dinner or buy groceries? That person's like, yes, you can do that.
Yes.
So if you're helping a caregiver, but if you are a caregiver or you are someone who needs to ask for help, it's great to kind of keep your laundry list of things that you know other people can help you with.
Yes.
You know, that way when somebody reaches in and says, hey, can I do something for you? You know, you've got that list of things already approved that they can help you with that would get something off your plate. And I love situations like what you described today, because those things happen too in the moment. But that's a great way in the higher level that you can easily ask for help, be prepared, because some people really do want to help, you know. And I think we've also talked about how you never know where people are in the season. And so, because caregiving can be lonely. And I think we've talked about how in seasons of caregiving, people can kind of disappear. Certain people can, and it's okay. It doesn't mean they don't love you anymore. It doesn't mean, but you never know the journey they're walking on and the weight of what you're carrying. They might actually be doing a kindness, going, I don't have capacity to carry that. And it's obviously feels better if we can talk about it, but sometimes people don't even have the capacity to do that. So just be encouraged that even if some don't, there's always someone who will.
Yeah.
And you know, that's a great point, because I've been disappointed by the ones that I thought would walk this journey with me.
Yes.
Been there.
And then the ones that I never would have expected, they have not left my side. So that is so true. Oh, wow.
That's good. That's good. That's good. You know, we think about tactics or things that caregivers need, and sometimes it's a whole lot that they need. What is one support tactic that a caregiver can really put into practice this week? What's one thing that they could do?
I get up every morning because, you know, my biggest fear that I'm going to get dementia. So I get up every morning and just before I get out the bed, or I'm sitting on the edge of the bed, I want you to get this visual. Now, I don't have all this makeup on, so I'm just out of the bed and I said, my name is Sandra Ervin. I live at blank, 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 blank. My phone number is this, and I am so glad to be alive. And I do know where I am right now. I'm in my bedroom. And then I take that time and I spend time with God. I go right into that to have that moment for myself. And then I say to God, who are you going to allow me to bless today? Send who I'm supposed to bless today. So if I can start my day off with God, then it sets the tone for the rest of the day. Just those few minutes. Because what you do as a caregiver, I pray later, or I get to my Bible later. That never happens, because then the devil would love for you not to get that word in.
Right.
So that you can have a pity party all day. But if I start like that, I'm going to have a wonderful day.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you talked about, just reaching into your faith. So that's a place where a caregiver can reach into. What are some other areas that they can really reach into? And you touched on it just a little bit, but I want to talk about that family and friends and what's a good way to reach out to those people so that that entire system is working, because they need so many parts.
Well, I have found that I can only talk about what I'm doing with my brothers. I always say, Lord, you took the one that I could count on. I don't know what plan you had in mind, but my good help is with you, God. You don't need any help. You left me these two brothers. And so instead of me getting angry with them, I had to learn to accept what they could offer. For example, I realized the limitations of my brother who's local. He's there today with the caregiver that Senior 911 sent. I didn't feel I wanted someone there because that was the first time she's been in my home. So my brother is there.
Okay.
Now all he can do now is scramble the egg and fix the toast. But that's what he can do.
That's what he can
And
do.
then he can call upstairs and say, you can come get it now. That's it. And so I've learned to accept what they can give me and stop being angry with them because they can't give me more than I need.
Yes, that's
and
good.
So I've learned to do that. And then I've learned how everywhere I go, I talk about resources and talk to people who can help me. I'm always Googling and I'm always on Facebook looking for the resources and then connecting to people. I have made so many connections by simply opening my mouth and walking in the room and said, I'm Sandra, I'm a caregiver, and if you know anything that can help me be better at this, I'm open.
I need you to say that again.
Yes.
Our people need to hear that again.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm Sandra, I'm a caregiver, and if you have any resources that can help me, or if you know of a resource or a person, please reach out to me.
People do better with scripts. That's why I asked you to repeat that, because sometimes when we need to ask, people are like, I don't know how to ask or what to ask. And what a great way to enter a room and say, this is who I am. What do you got for me? It's so easy, right?
I love it. I love it.
I love that about this season. Our heart for this season is let's get connected to resources. And what does it look like to, like the ecosystem we talked about, right? Being able to find all the things you need. And so you'll be maybe hearing more about that from us and our guests this season. So just listen in, because we definitely want to share those things with you guys. So this has been so good today.
I've enjoyed it.
I'm giving you an assignment.
Okay.
Right here, right now. I want you to look straight in that camera. Okay. And I want you to tell caregivers what you believe they need to hear today. What's one thing you really believe a caregiver needs to hear today?
Oh, the one thing, there's so many things, but the one that is really tugging at my heart is the fact that you got to take care of yourself. I have done such a terrible job of taking care of Sandra. And I had 2 knee replacements, and for 2 years I was on a cane and a walker, and I should have been making better progress, but I wasn't doing what I needed to do for me. Then one day I looked up, those brothers, I called one of them to come help, and he said he couldn't do anything. So when I went, oh my God, he said, I can't lift Mom, I can't. I said, so if something happens to my mom, happens to me, who's going to take care of Mom? And that was a change right there. So if you don't take the time for yourself and stop using excuses, stop saying what you can't do, even if it's 2 minutes, stretch against the wall, drink your water, go out on the patio and scream. I go in the driveway, I go scream, then I go back in and I'm ready to deal with the situation. And I found that once I take care of myself, I'm better for my mom. I'm not as snappy, I'm not it. And don't look at me like you don't want to snap. I want to say, girl, didn't I tell you that? So, and then come up with something that'll help you remember what to say. For example, I don't like my mom to know that I'm talking about her. So I named her Charlene. So when I'm talking about my mom to my friends and I said Charlene's in one of her moods, then my mom would say, well, who's Charlene? I said, a lady across the street. Well, where does she live? I said, closer than you think. So that's the way. And then bring laughter. You have to laugh at your situation. And then, but if you could just take care of yourself, your life will be extended. He just looked at like Hezekiah. Was it Hezekiah who looked to the wall?
To the wall, it was him.
Every day I said, Jesus, today I'm Hezekiah. I need you to extend my life because I know one day I will be able to enjoy my life a little more, but I got to take care of me in order to get to that point.
Right.
And that'll be it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That was so good.
I love you. I love you. Well, Dr. Ervin, thank you for joining us on today and thanking you for helping us to understand that in caregiving, this really is not a solo journey. None of us have been meant to do this alone. There are resources out here. We're going to get that H3 Caregiver Conference out to the world. So you all are going to be seeing it soon. But that there are resources out here for everyone. For everyone. Yes. So good. Well, until the next time, we can remember in caregiving, you're never meant to walk this journey alone because we are graced to care together.
Wow.
In caregiving, you're never meant to walk alone. We're graced to care together.